Hey everyone, I'm Rafe Levy, and this is another episode of Told Well. Today, we're going to be talking about what we wish we knew before we came to UNC. I'm joined today by three members of the Weeks of Welcome Board.
Hi, I'm Brigid Newman. I'm a first year and I'm double majoring in advertising and public relations and communication.
Hi, I'm Karen Cooper. I'm also a first year and I'm majoring in economics.
Hi, I'm Maria and I'm double majoring in media and journalism and psychology, and I'm a sophomore.
Great. So let's just get right into it. What did y'all wish you knew before you came to UNC, and why?
There are plenty of things that I wish I knew before coming to Carolina, but definitely the main one that I took away from my freshman year was knowing that going to things alone is okay. Like, I remember my first week, I didn't go to a Weeks of Welcome event just because that one friend that I had made in orientation couldn't go. And I remember just thinking of how I was going to regret that moment and how I should have taken the courage to step out of my comfort zone, and knowing that it is okay to do things by yourself. If you need to eat and nobody's available to go to the dining hall with you, go. If you need to study and you can't concentrate in your room, so you have to go to the library alone, go. Make sure that you take those moments that perhaps nobody's available, or maybe you just want a second by yourself. They're very important, and it's very underrated. I feel like college is such a social space. You're constantly surrounded by people. If it's classes, clubs, even in your own room when your roommate, sometimes you need 1 second alone, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you are missing out on something like the typical movie experience. It's more of you need time to really just settle everything down, to study, get your work done, and doing things that you need to do.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I mean, there's this expectation that during college we're always hanging out with other people, but it's so true that there's really no problem with doing things by yourself. Never let fear of how other people are perceiving you stop you from doing what you need to do. Because we all got to eat, like you said, Maria. We all got to study. We all got to take time to ourselves to make sure we're ready to hit the ground running. What about y'all? What else y'all got?
Yeah, I agree with what Maria said. That time of self-reflection is key in college. Wrapping up my second semester here, I think the biggest takeaway I'd say I gained from my experience is just, don't worry about what others think about you. Because I remember in high school, I would always try to conform myself to a certain social group, and I wouldn't really branch out to other groups because I thought that's the group that best fit for me. But, now in college, especially at a public university like UNC, there are just so many different social groups that you can interact with. And also, you don't really necessarily have to stay in the same group, There's a lot of different interests that a lot of people have, and some people may have interests that you have and some people may don't, so you can just kind of hop around social groups, however you please. Don't be afraid to share your insecurities, because people nowadays, they really care about authenticity and not necessarily perfection. So just be yourself and put yourself out there, and you'll be just fine. You'll thrive at UNC.
I really like that, Cam. On the note of finding people who share your similar interests, I'm pretty sure we just hit 1,000 organizations on Your Life recently. So I guarantee you there is a club that you will be interested in. I also like what you said about being authentic. I forget what famous author, whoever said it, but it's be yourself because everyone else is already taken, and that's so true. Don't let fear of not fitting in stop you from being authentic, because it's when you're authentic that you actually find the people that are best for you.
And like Cam said, it's a lot of trial and error. Even in social settings, academic settings, you're constantly getting rejected, but it is true what they say of rejection is redirection, and it sucks to hear it when
it's all part of the
process. It's 100 no's, but once you get that yes, it just it makes sense and it fits in, and I think it applies to everything. And you end up you truly end up where you need to be. So I think that's the beauty.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, vulnerability helps build trust, which will help build strong, lasting relationships.
I agree, 100%. What you got?
The two main things that come to mind for me would just be finding a really good schedule early on. Obviously, from high school, you're coming from 7 hours a day of school and then going straight to activities and dinner and homework and then just going to bed and doing it over again. But obviously college, you're going to have different class times every day. You're probably going to have breaks in between. You're going to have days where you just have one class, and then you're trying to figure out, well, what do you do to fill your time? So the best thing for me was just like writing to-do lists and figuring things out early, finding the time when I went to eat and, you know, when to do whatever I want to do, like go chill and go for a walk, and just finding things for me. And then another thing is just utilizing your resources, because we have so many great resources here at UNC. Like you said, like all the clubs you can join on Heal Life, going to CLE events, going to your office hours for your different professors, because they have to be there, so they love when you show up, and just ask questions, ask about their day, really anything. Like the writing center. I mean, there's really just so many great things here. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. Like, take advantage of the resources we have to offer. Like the writing center you mentioned is an excellent, very underutilized resource. If you're in like chemistry or physics, we have like Chem Possible and Vectorious, respectively. These are all like really great resources that are there to help you out. So even though it might be a little bit intimidating at first to engage with these things, like I guarantee you will be glad that you did once you do. So don't be afraid of taking advantage of everything we have to offer.
And with the scheduling thing too, you know, you're independent. You don't have your mom in your ear reminding you to do things. So you gotta stay on top of your stuff. So and prioritization is key. You know, prioritize the things that you need to do and have fun later. You know.
But at the end of the day, college is such a like enriching experience. But the only way you get that experience is if you let yourself like invest in it fully. So I guess I'll close this out by saying, like, don't be afraid to take chances. Not everything is going to work out the way you intended it to, but that's part of the process. Everything will work out. So just be yourself and everything else will follow. All right. That's all we got for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.